Ho, ho, ho. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Art Talk. I am your host, Santa Claus. You can call me just Santa for short. And I'm joined in our YouTube studio with my good buddy, the chief elf, Stephen White. Hi, Stephen.
I didn't have an elf voice prepared. I don't know what an elf sounds like.
I
So
personally have never heard an elf talk either.
I feel like it would be scary. Like
Probably.
they'd probably be like disturbing.
A little bit like one of the chipmunks
Yeah.
from Alvin and the Chipmunks. I have literally taught thousands of people how to paint. And if you have any desire to learn, I can teach you how to do it. So today on this episode of Art Talk, we will be painting our own little Tannenbaum. And I decided that because so much of the traditional red and green Christmas is just not me, I wanted to do a background that was a little bit different, a little kind of something outside the norm. So we're going to do a peachy pink background, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now.
What did you call this? A tennis racket?
Yes, that old German tennis racket.
Okay.
Which so many songs have been written about it. So I'm going to use a couple of different colors here today. I'm going to put out some mandarin, which is a nice pale orange color. You could also use pure orange plus white if you wanted to go that route. I'm also going to put out some titanium white. I'm going to put out some summer peach. I'm also going to put out a little bit of apple red. And while we're putting out colors, we might as well go ahead and put out a little bit of bright pink. So all of these colors may not be your natural thought for what Christmas is. And in fact, I am going to put out a little pure orange. All right, so I'm going to pick up some mandarin, and I'm using a 1-inch flat brush, and I'm going to just kind of brush this on really in a kind of casual manner, and then I can pick up some summer peach, and we'll brush some of that on. So again, I'm holding my brush as far back on the handle as I can so that I'm going to be painting in a really painterly fashion, very casual way of doing this. And since we are now in the holiday season, hopefully everybody's in the holiday spirit. How is Elf Stephen coming along with the holiday spirit?
I am getting geared up for it. I'm starting to think about gifts.
And does little Roku get a gift?
Yeah. I'm thinking that she doesn't know what Christmas is. I haven't really told her about it yet. She's pretty young, you know.
Yeah, she is. Well, is catnip on her list?
I'm sure it would be.
Okay.
I'll tell her the stories of Santa tonight.
And the Christmas cats gathered around the manger.
Yeah.
Okay.
The three wise cats.
The three wise cats. Or in my world, it'll be the three wise cracks. Boom, boom. I'm here all week, folks. All right, so I am now picking up a little bit of titanium white on the brush, and we're giving that a quick, soft blend into this background. You don't want it to be completely free of brush marks, nor do you want it to be, you don't want it to have your brush strokes terribly noticeable. So a soft, mottled background is what we are after. And if you want to make it a little bit more pink, you could pick up some bright pink and work a little bit of that in to your background. Just a really casual, kind of fun background. And again, not using traditional Christmas colors, which I kind of like. And hold that brush back on the handle so that you are forced to work in a painterly fashion. So I'm adding some more white down here, and I'm going to add just a smidgen of apple red to the background in a couple of places, and we'll blend and soften that in. Don't worry too much over the background, or you'll be getting a visit from a ghost of Christmas neuroses, and we don't want that. All right, little elf, I think we are just about done with this background. I'm just taking a quick look and making sure that it is not too full of brush marks, but it's also not blended so it's all one color. So let me take a quick peek at this background. And I think we are in good shape. So we should not get any coal in our stockings. All right, so we're going to take a little eggnog break while we dry this background. I'd like to take a minute to thank Plaid Enterprises for sponsoring Art Talk. They are the makers of folk art acrylics, which I absolutely love using. I've used this paint since I was a young tot, and now that I'm an old fart, I still use this paint. We have a 17-piece set that we've curated just for you. Ordering information is in the description below, and we also have great brushes for you. We have a 7-piece set of Folk Art Select Firm Bristle brushes. These are absolutely incredible. I use them every time I paint. And I've never done that in my entire life. Now, let's get back to our video. Okay, our background is dry and looking very, very festive. And I am just going to use a piece of cheap chalk. Do not get good dressmaker's chalk or anything like that. You want the least expensive chalk you can find in the store. And I'm going to sketch our Christmas tree onto my canvas. We will, of course, have a downloadable pattern, and the link for that is in the description below. But I'm just going to start trying to find the center point of my canvas here, and I'm going to literally just kind of sketch on a Christmas tree. And this is only to give me a little bit of a guide for painting my Christmas tree. So don't let your guidelines be your girdles. Just get a little shape of a Christmas tree on your canvas, and then we will put out some more colors to paint our tree.
Do you think Santa wears girdles?
No, because he has a round little belly that shakes when he laughs like a bowl full of jelly.
Right,
like me.
That's part of his brand.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is, of course, from A Visit from St. Nicholas by Clement Moore. So I'm going to put some medium yellow out on my palette, and I'm also going to put out a little bit of pure black. Did you ever have to memorize A Visit from St. Nicholas?
No, what is that?
That's, you might know it as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
Oh, okay. Why did you have to memorize it?
We had to memorize all kinds of stuff in school, little elf. You went to elf school, you may not have had to memorize
Right, I just know
things.
how to make, like, Hot Wheels.
Well, I would rather know how to make a Hot Wheel than to have memorized some of the mess we did. I'm going to add a little bit of black to my medium yellow, and this is going to make a nice shade of olive green. And make sure to wipe your palette knife off before you go back and pick up paint, because you don't really want to contaminate your puddles of paint. Speaking of making Hot Wheels, little elf, what was your favorite toy that Santa brought you?
I think one year I got one of those, I don't even know that I know the name of it, but it's this like white robot toy, and it like walks and stomps around, and it was like a early 2000s like iconic toy. I also got like an iPod Nano when those were hot, you know.
I remember getting a bright yellow Panasonic 8-track tape player that had a plunger, like a dynamite, what do you call it? An explosive plunger.
Why?
And that's where you changed the track.
Oh, okay.
And you won't remember how exciting that was to have an 8-track player, because you were never more than 3 songs away from your favorite.
I think one year I sat on Santa's lap and I asked for a train, not because I wanted a train, but because I saw in movies that's what little kids asked for.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that was what I was supposed to do.
And did you get a train?
No.
Oh, well then that was good that Santa didn't listen to you.
Yeah, I'm sure he knew that I didn't really want the train. He was like, okay, he's just trying to fit in, you know?
My mom was, and still is, very, very, very big on Christmas. And so she does not believe in a picture as a gift. So if you were going to get something, it was in the house under the tree, wrapped up with a bow or with the things that Santa brought. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'll explain what
I got a drum set one time. I just remembered that.
Sure, that was
that
as
was
well
awesome.
received as my brother's drums were. All right, so I'm using a number 12 flat brush and holding it as far back on the handle as I can, and I've got my olive green mix here, and I put out a little bit more medium yellow so I could just alter this color as I go, so it's not always going to be the same color. So I'm going to start up here at the top of my tree, and I am going to come down one side of the tree, just loosely, I guess sketching is the best way to describe this, loosely sketching on the outline of my Christmas tree. If you are holding your brush like a pen or a pencil, this will be much more difficult to get a fun and relaxed Christmas tree shape. And then we're just going to put the bottom of our tree on, and I'm going to look at it, and I think I'm happy with just about everything except the very top of the tree. So I'm going to swoop a little bit up around the outside edges, and boom, there we have a much prettier tree top. Oh, it was exhausting. But I'm going to fill in the tree, loosely sketching it on while I tell my little story. My mother, like I said, does not believe in photographs as a gift. So we have the whole family is gathered at my grandmother's house. And I was living in Florida at the time, and my grandmother lived south of Atlanta. So 4.5 hour drive in the car. So Christmas morning, we're all having fun, exchanging gifts and seeing what everybody got in their stocking and just having a really good time. And then it's become pretty obvious that there has been no gift from my uncle to my mother, which we know that's not a good thing, and hopefully she's not been forgotten. And she has not. My mother had been talking about wanting guinea hens. They're like, they're bigger than chickens, smaller than turkeys, black and white polka dotted birds. And they are very good watchdogs. If somebody comes close, they make all sorts of loud noise. And so, yes, people, you guessed it. My uncle comes into the living room with a wooden crate with a live guinea hen in it for my mother. And she's laughing, and it's all fun and games until we all have to go out and bring in a crate with a guinea hen in it. So there are 8 live guinea hens in the living room. So this is all well and good until we have to pack them in the back of the station wagon for a 4.5 hour drive home. I can tell you in no uncertain terms that Santa was gagging at the smell of guinea manure in the car. All right, so what I'm going to do next is take my number 12 brush and my olivey green color that we had, and I'm going to add a little bit more black to that. It's making a darker green. And so what I'm going to do is just start kind of in the center of the tree, and I'm going to let some of this dark color, again, holding that brush back on the end of the handle is crucial. And we're going to make sure that that comes at the bottom of these little branches that are sticking out a little further, and then we've got some dark color here at the bottom. And then we're going to turn our canvas a little bit and do the same thing over on the other side. And I'm not trying to paint this in any really rigid or firm way of doing this. It's a very casual, very loose, very easy. You should be able to paint a lot of these, and these would be great Christmas gifts for people. Maybe instead of giving a Christmas card, you give them a hand-painted tree.
I was going to ask Santa if you're ready to paint all the children on Earth a painting this year for Christmas.
Santa wishes he was that kind of elf.
You're going to need a lot more folk art.
We are going to need a sleigh load of folk art for that. But Santa is teaching people how to paint, so he doesn't have to do it all himself.
The gift of learning.
The gift of learning, absolutely. And I would say that at the end of this episode, Elf Stephen will show us his hand-painted Christmas tree. But
I'll throw it up on the screen right now.
Okay, we don't want to throw Elf Stephen under the sled. We're going to take a moment to dry this much of our tree But I do have to ask our elf, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Jingle All the Way.
Okay. Very
It's just
good.
ridiculous. It's got Arnold and it's got Sinbad, and Sinbad is a mailman, and they want the same toy, but it's the last one in the city. And Sinbad calls in a bomb threat, and I mean it's crazy.
That sounds very, very, very good. All right, so we're going to dry our Christmas tree, which you don't ever want to dry your own Christmas tree. Make sure your
Yes.
live tree has always got plenty of water.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to come right back with our dried tree. Okay, I am going to use my number 12 flat brush, and we are going to start sort of embellishing our tree. We're not really going full on ornaments, but I'm going to take my olive color and I'm going to add a little bit more medium yellow to it, and then I'm going to add a little bit of white. So we're making a light olive color, and we're going to start to tap and dab on our tree. So you just saw me do a big dab there. I'm going to do a dab up here. And you can see that I am kind of rolling the brush in my fingers, still holding it way back on the end of the handle. I'm not completely covering the tree. I can still see the olive green. I can still see the dark green. And now we're seeing this lighter green. So, Elf Stephen, do you think this is a technique that most good little boys and girls can do?
Yeah, I think most good little boys and girls could do it.
Okay, because I don't want to send anybody to the naughty list with a tough technique.
I was going to say, the naughty kids, they may not have the same luxury.
Well, you know, naughty children, I don't know, what do you even say about them? This is the time of year where they better get it in gear. Were you threatened with the naughty list?
Probably once or twice, yeah.
Just once or twice?
I plead the fifth.
Now, I can't imagine your mom keeping you on the naughty list. I did not make the naughty list.
One time, my dad told me that his dad, for Christmas, got a pocket knife and an orange.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've heard stories about my mom getting oranges and grapefruits and nuts in their stockings. Sometimes they would even get raisins still on the stem.
So
I mean,
grape?
that doesn't even look, I mean, that just seems even sadder.
How is that not a grape?
It was before it dried out.
Oh.
So instead of getting like a nice box of raisins, you just got a stem of dead grapes. At least that's what I thought. And, you know, stories from my, my grandparents, talking about, just how different things were. And I'm sure things are wildly different now than when I was a kid. Of course, I'm the perpetual kid. All right, so now we've got our tree has 3 shades of green on it, and I'm thinking that looks pretty cool even at this stage. But at the North Pole, where I live, we like our trees decorated with all sorts of colors. So I'm going to put out Calypso Sky, which is a nice kind of like tropical blue color. And I'm also going to put out a little Ocean View, which is a lighter tropical blue color. And we're going to start decorating, just like the little fat snowman in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Do you remember him?
Frosty?
I don't think his name was Frosty.
Oh, I'm thinking of Frosty, the movie.
No. This was the old Rankin Bass claymation one.
Yeah, I don't
where
remember his
he
name.
just kind of motorizes himself along with no legs.
Oh, yeah, he just sort of slides.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's talking about decorating with silver and gold. But I'm going to decorate with a little Ocean View, and we're going to dab again. Hold that brush as far back on the handle as you can, and I'm going to start making more dabs. And I'm controlling the size of the dab by how hard I press on my brush. So a little tiny dab on the corner gives you a little ornament. A little bit heavier pressure gives you a bigger ornament. And you want a nice variety of ornament sizes. They should, of course, be bigger as you move down your tree. You have to get some out here on those outer branches too. But you can't look like you've worked hard to make that happen. And these are not precise dabs. by any stretch of your holiday imagination. All right, and now I'm going to use some Calypso Sky, which is a nice, it's a little darker blue than the ocean view. And we're going to dab some of these on. And some people are going to love, kind of a very pastel-y looking tree. And some people are going to want one that's got a lot more traditional colors on it. You can do your tree to suit you. Just like, everyone's tree is going to be decorated to suit their own style and taste. And I hope, Stephen, when you get your tree set up, that Roku does not decide that it's her winter wonderland and climb and attack the tree.
She more than likely will. I haven't even thought about that.
Well, it's fun. I don't have to worry about Vera and the Christmas tree because she won't know that there's one there.
She might bump into it.
I'm probably going to have to put it up on the kitchen island. So just have a small little island tree. Because I don't want to scare her with something new. All right, so pure orange. I'm going to put a few pure orange ornaments on there. And I'm not stopping to dry this in between every color. I may dry this after these orange ornaments go on, or dabs. So what's your favorite holiday tradition?
Like driving through neighborhoods that have a ton of Christmas lights up, just to look at their. I don't want to put my own up. That's a lot of work. But
yeah, well, I'm
checking out
right
other
there
people's.
with you. Oh yeah, I mean our right now one of my neighbors still has Halloween inflatables in her yard, and her neighbor next door has her tree up. So we've got a little bit of everything going on. But I'm not one to put up the outdoor lights and stuff. It's just too much. All right, let's take a quick little break from decorating our tree. We'll have a little eggnog and we'll be right back. Okay, elves, we are back, and I've dried our ornaments or dabs that we've put on so far. And now I'm going to take some medium yellow, and I might put a little bit of sunny yellow on my palette because we need some bright, reflective yellow ornaments on our tree.
What's your favorite Christmas movie? You asked me.
Oh, my favorite Christmas movie? Of course, it's Beethoven's Christmas.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was going to take a guess and guess that it would have been White Christmas.
No, I'm not a big fan of White Christmas. That's just not...
It's kind of boring.
Yeah, and then everybody will go, oh, I bet you like It's a Wonderful Life. And no, I don't. Well, that's the movie where something happens and an angel gets its wings. I can't remember exactly what happens.
Oh, okay.
But I used to watch it with my cousin. Every year she lived for it. I was not all about it. All right, so bright gold yellow ornaments on our tree. Some of these are big. Some of these are bold, some of these are tiny. It's up to you. Well, another, you mentioned Christmas movies. That's not one of my favorite movies, but it is a Christmas tradition, is on Christmas Eve, you get your holiday beverage, hot chocolate, whatever it is that you want. Then you all pile up on the sofa and you watch National Lampoon's Christmas.
Yep.
We laugh at the Griswolds every year like we've never seen that movie before. All right, so we've got some yellow ornaments on our tree. Now let's put some traditional red ornaments on. Or red decorations, I think, is probably what we really should call these. Again, using the number 12 flat brush, and we are just going to dab on some red ornaments. And we've already got lots of orange ornaments, so I don't really need that many red ones, but it seems tradition, so we shall put them on. Now, if you want to, you could, of course, break out some treasure gold and put treasure gold ornaments on your tree. That would be very pretty. Just whatever moves you here at the holidays, that's what you should be doing. Now, I'm going to switch to a number 8 flat brush, not because I want a smaller brush. I just don't want to clean out my number 12 flat brush, so laziness rules the day. And I'm going to add some white ornaments to our tree. And you want to make sure to move around as you're putting these on. Again, I can't stress enough to hold your brush at the end of the handle. If you don't hold your brush at the end of the handle, there will be coal in your stocking.
That's a threat.
It's a firm reminder.
It's a promise.
It's a promise. Now, Stephen is a little younger than I am, so he may not remember this. I'm going to ask, do you remember having to really plan when you wanted to watch something on TV? Because it wouldn't be on again.
Yeah, a little bit. That lasted for some time.
Okay, because when I was growing up, I remember, traveling somewhere, and it was like, if we don't get home, we won't be able to see The Grinch this year, because, how The Grinch Stole Christmas was on TV once a year, and children these days do not understand what it's like to worry about missing a show, because now, if you don't see The Grinch when it came on, it'll be on again, and you can watch it on demand anytime. But back in the day, you had to plan around seeing How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which, of course, is a classic. All right, I am going to put a few more ornaments on our tree, and I'm going to use my number 8 flat brush in bright pink. And we're going to just dab a few of these very bright pink ornaments on the tree.
I feel like I know the answer to this already, but what do you think about the Jim Carrey Grinch?
Not classic.
Okay. That tells me everything I need to know.
I mean, he tried. Is he the one that, no, it was Mike Myers that tried The Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, those two movies aren't related, but they go hand in hand.
They're both bad.
Yeah.
And it's because we all grew up with the real good animation. So I am going to just give this tree a look, and I'm really liking what I see, but I do want to go back and just add a few little olive green, dark olive green touches here and there. And that's just going to break up some of these ornaments. And now I'm just picking up some of that olive green and going to dab some on. And you do want to make sure that what you add is of varying sizes. Okay. Now, one last thing I'm going to do to this tree, I'm going to give it a little snow effect. So I'm going to take a big flat brush. This is a number 1. This is not a number 1. It's a 1-inch flat brush. And I'm going to thin down some white paint with water. And I'm going to give you a couple of pro tips. If you're thinning your paint down and you want some nice large snowflakes, you're going to have to add a little more water to it, because the thinner your paint is, the larger your flecks will be. If your paint is drier or thicker, then it will make tiny little specks. So I'm going to take my brush and flick back. I'm not really getting anything on my palette, so my paint is too dry. So we're going to add some more water to this, and then when we do it again, we should see much bigger spatters of snow. All right, so right here on my canvas, I am going to just flick some snow on. And that's all we need. So, wishing you happy holidays, and our little Tannenbaum here, or our little Christmas tree. Hope you really enjoy this, and we will see you on the next episode of Art Talk. So Elf Stephen and I want to thank you for joining us for our Art Talk episode where we painted this beautiful little Christmas tree. And the link for the downloadable design is in the description below. You can also find links to your Art Talk kits there. So please be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us a comment below. That really means a lot to us. We'd like to hear what you all have to say.
We actually do read them too.
And we will see you on the next episode of Art Talk.